Let's talk about the Battle Pass. People have been asking me every second of every day to make a video about the Battle Pass. I already did, but we'll try again since clearly people missed that one. And in fact, we've got some new updates about the Battle Pass I also wanted to cover here in case you missed them. Some reassurances from Blizzard as of the last 24 hours from Ixar himself. So, that said, if you don't know what the heck the Battle Pass is, you're still confused what the heck I'm talking about, let me catch you up. A few weeks ago, we had a leaked survey from Blizzard about a proposed Battle Pass, essentially an alternate track to earn rewards in Hearthstone instead of daily quests and win bonuses. You would earn XP and get certain rewards along the way throughout the course of an expansion cycle. People crunched the numbers on this Battle Pass. It was theorized that you'd earn far less gold than normal via the Battle Pass, particularly as a free-to-play player who played a lot. You wouldn't be able to front-load your gold into a new expansion, open a bunch of packs. Your packs would essentially be drip-fed throughout an expansion cycle, which would clearly be a much worse experience. And we've had, many prominent community members and YouTube channels come out and condemn said Battle Pass. People have asked me over and over again my thoughts. I said, yes, some of the things we saw look concerning, but I certainly want to see a final product before we make a major judgment, because none of this looks final. So totally fine to criticize what we see, but, don't get crazy about it because it may not be real yet. And we may be interpreting some of the things wrong, or they may not be final, etc. So during the Reddit AMA, I think it was like a week ago, the game director came in and tried to reassure a little bit that, things aren't as bad as people think. The sky is not totally falling in regards to the Battle Pass. Unfortunately, that was ignored by many people, but it wasn't necessarily very specific, so I understand. And now we have another comment from Blizzard that feels a little bit more definitive to me. It's not exactly specific from a numerical standpoint, throwing a lot of extra details here, but it seems more clear and decisive in its language than what we'd heard before. So specifically, Ixar took to Reddit recently, and there was a post on Reddit, breaking down the numbers on the Battle Pass, much like others before it. And Ixar said this: assuming you play the same amount and have the same quest completion rate, you shouldn't earn less gold or non-gold in the new system. Non-gold being things like packs, alternative prizes, etc. In nearly all circumstances, you should be earning slightly more gold and more non-gold. So Ixar here comes right out and says it's not going to be worse. It's actually, on average, going to be slightly better, or at the very least, the same as today. It's just going to be packaged up a little bit differently. So it may not be the saving grace for free-to-play players, but it's certainly not the end of the world that's dooming your ability to do Hearthstone free-to-play, at least any worse than it already is today. Now, there were some keywords there, I think. Namely, in nearly all circumstances, does leave a little bit of wiggle room for those outliers. Maybe if you play the game like a ton, way more than anybody else, like a content creator level, perhaps you will earn less, which is a little bit unfortunate. I would hope this system positively impacts everybody. If there are gaps in the system, that totally sucks for those people. I mean, I'd certainly choose the 99.9% of players who would benefit over that other 0.1%, but be nice if everybody just got a bonus. That would be cool. I think it's also worth noting that it doesn't require you to play any extra. They're saying if you play the same, you're going to earn the same. So it's not any kind of trickery where it's like, yeah, you can earn the same amount of gold if you play twice as much. Again, it would actually be nice if you had to play a little less to get as much gold. I wish it wasn't about remaining equal. It was a little bit more about gaining on the current system. But at the very least, it sounds like there might be some slight gains here and there, and it's not, importantly, going backwards, which would have been really, really bad for Hearthstone. Ixar then goes on to address the idea of the drip feed of packs throughout the course of an expansion. He says something that has come up a lot is the idea that you will no longer be able to obtain the packs you want on day one, and instead will get a drip feed of packs over the expansion. While you will receive rewards as the expansion goes on, the gold you earn per expansion should remain relatively flat from what you earn now. This should make your ability to buy packs on day one similar to what you get now, but with more non-gold rewards added on top. So that's another nice reassurance that you won't be essentially like backloading your ability to compete in a new expansion and get packs. Great for free-to-play players that they can still get everything they want as early as possible in an expansion. Now, there were some choice words there, things like relatively flat and similar to what you get now. That again leaves a little bit of wiggle room, so we'll have to wait and see what the final numbers are like and hear people's experiences. If they're that far off the mark, is similar, a 10% difference, a 5% difference, 0 difference. We'll have to wait and see the final numbers before we really make a statement that's definitive. But it sounds like it's going to be generally the same, with potentially more bonuses added on throughout the course of an expansion, which would be really cool. And then finally, I think the next important thing here is that Ixar says our intent with the system is for it to be upside for all players. Now, I think that's actually really important. There were a lot of comments saying like, oh, Blizzard's just trying to wring more money out of us. They're trying to kill the free-to-play experience so that people have to pre-order and buy packs. It seems like that's not the at least promised intent. It all comes down to execution. We have to see what really happens. Things could go wrong between the designer's intent with Ixar and the reality that hits Hearthstone on the live servers. Maybe somebody gets their fingers in between and things change. So, again, I'm still pausing any sort of declarative, definitive statement until the actual numbers exist, like I have been the entire time. But at least this seems to indicate that Blizzard's not really trying to use this as some sort of economy boost or way to, make more money, essentially. They're making it more about a better player experience and hopefully, improving the amount of people who play Hearthstone and, new players' friendliness and returning player friendliness, all those sort of things that are great for the health of a game. He says we've done many checks on different player segments to make sure that that it is the case that no matter how you play, that there's going to be that upside, and they are still, retaining the ability to adjust that by tweaking XP per level and XP bonuses in case they get things wrong. So they're even saying that there's a potential to fix it if it doesn't deliver on the promise that they're going to increase or have upside for essentially all players. That is really good news in my mind. Ixar goes on to clarify that you will not be earning packs instead of gold. You're still going to get gold just like you did before. Packs are a separate thing, so it's not like you're losing flexibility with your gold either. That was another concern. Great to see that that's not necessarily going to be an issue. So what are the takeaways here? Well, a couple things. First off, shout out to Ixar for jumping into the lion's den and trying to answer these questions. This has been a really hot topic. I think he's had a social media break. He jumped right back in head first and tackled this. So major props to him for trying to quell this little bit of a riot that's been going on with the Battle Pass. Appreciate that, certainly. Number two, I think, is that the intent here sounds great. Blizzard's promising a lot of things. As always, it comes down to what's delivered on the final product. We will see what happens. If it's terrible, we'll cause a fuss. If it's great, we'll celebrate. I have a feeling it'll land in a spot that's yeah, that was pretty good, but not necessarily game-changing, which, you know what, I'll take that too. I don't want to rock the boat too much. But ultimately, I do want to see Hearthstone get more accessible for free-to-play players. I want as many people as possible playing Hearthstone. I've often celebrated the Legends of Runeterra monetization model. If Hearthstone could get anywhere close to that, I'd be thrilled because that game is incredibly cheap and accessible to play. For me, not quite as fun, but certainly still a good game as well. But very easy to get into. I spent $50 and had everything in no time at all. It seemed like I was missing a little, but more or less had everything with a very small investment, which is awesome. Hearthstone would be cool to be there. I mean, I don't want to dunk on people who are mad and, causing an uproar. It's cool. I get it. You're passionate about the game. This was something that came out that really freaked you out. It scared you that it might limit your ability to play the game. I totally understand why you would be upset. I totally understand wanting to talk about it, wanting to get news out there. Never going to begrudge anybody the right to be frustrated as a consumer. Corporations are not usually your friend, and sharing your concerns is awesome. So all that said, I think that wraps it up for this video. We got some new assurances, and hopefully they come true and Hearthstone becomes a little bit better place for everybody and a little bit more affordable place, or a lot more affordable place for everybody. That would be awesome. So share your thoughts on all this news in the comments below. Do you like the Battle Pass? Do you hate the Battle Pass? Do you not know what the heck is going on? That's me half the time. I want to hear it all in the comments below. You're certainly welcome to discuss anything and everything down there. That said, thanks much for watching. If you like these kind of more informal chatting style videos with I got oh, there's my YouTube button. It's 100,000 subscribers. Standing next to Sylvanas. I know it's all blurry because it's depth of field. But if you like these kind of videos, let me know. And we'll probably do more. These are easy for me to make. Easy, cheap videos. So like it if you like it. And if you don't, dislike it, I guess, too. But in the meantime, thanks much for watching. And until next time, game on.